How you doing there, guys? Welcome to a special episode we have of Nexweave TV. A lot of you know me. I'm Bruce, and to what appears like on my right on screen are the two founders, co-founders, whatever you want to call them, of Nexweave, Inder and Ashtosh. Say hello, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hey there. So it's going to be an interesting day today, and a little bit different, and so that's why we're having a little bit different visual layout. We're going to invite you guys, the community members, to come up on screen, and we're going to talk about today's campaign that we have with Appsumo. We're going to put the link here at the bottom of the screen, so you also can join us, just like you see us on screen here. And then what we'll do is we'll take one of your existing Appsumo licenses and we'll upgrade it from Tier 1 to Tier 2 in a way of saying thank you for taking the time to come on camera with us and ask us about your specific use case or question. That being said, we have some special updates. So without further ado, Inder, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you so much, Bruce. And thank you all you guys who've been supporting us for the last 6 months. It's what has made Nexweave what it is right now. We've upgraded a lot of stuff. And the announcement for today is that all of you have been upgraded to 1080p accounts, which means if you were on a single code earlier, either on the early access deal or you had purchased the Appsumo deal on Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, you all have 1080p accounts. Plus, we were taking in feedbacks from the community and they said that they wanted some of the Tier 4, Tier 5 features on the Tier 1 stack. So we've gone ahead and added something interesting in the video template section. Head over to advanced components and you'll find 2 widgets over there, which are now available for everyone, whether you're on early access or the Appsumo plans. So try it out, give us some feedback in terms of how you intend to use it. We have a couple of integrations also coming up which will make it more easier to use. So yes.
Perfect. There we are. Guys, right here at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and put this up on screen there. And Ashtosh, we haven't heard from you in a little bit, so let's have you come on and we'll have you talk about what you like, what's new with the platform as well, and we'll have you do a little bit of a intro.
Yeah, so hi guys, I'm Ashutosh. I'm the technical co-founder of Nexweave. So recently we've been working on adding some exciting things like the Inder which mentioned as the advanced components. So those are the widgets. So you must have seen like there are 2 different components right now. One is the product overlay widget where you can add products, and the moment the user hovers on that, there will be a pop-up coming up. The pop-up will appear differently based on the devices, like text of it will be different, as well as on mobile it will look different. And along with that, we have another widget which is forms. So the forms, user can embed a form in the video, and once the user enters those details, which can be a name, mobile number, and email address, and only then they will be able to proceed. And now these details will be captured within the Nexweave, and against the campaign, you can capture what all things are there. And now, in addition to this, we will be also releasing SDK, where if there's any developer in the team, so they can build their own widgets, like which we have for forms as well as for product overlay. They can add another widgets of their choice, which can integrate with any other system, and those things can be added on the Nexweave layer. So this is something very exciting which will be releasing by next week. Yeah, that's it.
So interesting. New updates coming out next week already. You guys are not wasting any time, that's for sure.
In fact, I think with the SDK coming out, considering the kind of interest that we've seen from the community as soon as we announce those 2 widgets, it'll just open a new Pandora's box where anyone can think of a use case, create an HTML component, and then use that with their respective video templates. So we started with something for e-commerce and lead gen, where you can connect it to your e-commerce store and show in-video product widgets that you can hover over and get to know more about. Or you can introduce forms within your videos so that your viewers need to fill up those details to watch the rest of the video. But you can start thinking of a variety of things which can now be done with the SDK as soon as that's available, where you can have maybe people play a small Sudoku game and submit that score somewhere else, or maybe any HTML component that you want to include over there. So try out the 2 that you have right now. Share your feedback. If you're in the e-commerce space, we would love to see some examples or some ideas coming in from your end on how you want to use that. and keep the ideas flowing in. We're going to have some exciting 2 months, a lot of announcements coming in. So hop on board.
So I saw some of the updates that we had listed inside of our private chat too. Is it all right if we list those up at the bottom as I put them up as a ticker tape on the bottom too?
Sure.
Sure. Let me go ahead and slap that up there. Everyone who purchased Tier 2 will be very happy. I'll say that.
So yeah, with the update, anyone who's bought Tier 2 also gets CNAME for image and video links. And that's one of the updates that, or in fact, that's one of the features that was most requested by users of the earlier campaign, because then all the links that you send, they can carry your own custom domain. So in the whole experience that the user sees, there'll be no mention of Nexweave whatsoever. It's just your brand out and out, right from the link that they get to the experiences that you serve them.
And then the last one was all tiers regarding the resolution upgrade.
Correct. So many of them said that 720p is old school. So everyone gets 1080p, whether you're on the current early access deal or the new Appsumo tier 1 itself. So everyone has been upgraded to 1080p. So go ahead, try it out. You won't have to really use the older set of videos anymore.
There we go. 2 major incentives there. We'll go ahead and put that up. It'll definitely get a lot of people interested. Let's slap that up. There we go. Update all Appsumo plans. You'll get CNAME for all users that are Tier 2 and above, and all videos can be uploaded at 1080p. Perfect. Here we go. Look at that.
Yeah, so besides that, I think I'm not sure how many of you have seen the group, but we just started a video series where Shreya from our team is going to be talking about the use case that you guys voted for in the forum. So maybe twice a week you'll see videos from her covering specific use cases on how you can use Nexweave to achieve the things that you've requested for. So if you want to see more examples of what you guys need us to do, just go ahead to the community, add in your respective use cases to the poll, and the ones which are listed on the top are going to be picked up one by one, and we can have videos based on that.
I'm going to use that video that we were discussing or showing yesterday, and I wanted to show people how they could do like a choose their own adventure series, which a lot of people don't know that necessarily that you can do. Let me see if I can pull up that old link. You know which one I'm talking about, right? The yes no with Harpreet on there. I thought that was interesting, and that would be a good example of how people can have tree-like or branch-like stories if they wanted to do that, or kind of like experiences. Let me pull up the link here. Give me 1 sec. All right, got it. And so, just 1 sec, guys, we'll pull that up. The idea is that you could take a certain experience and then you could say yes, no, and then you can have a pre-recorded response for those people. Then you could say, oh, you said no, oh, that's unfortunate. In other words, you could have a pre-recorded response ready to go when someone clicks on the no button. But if someone were to click on the yes button, you could say, okay, great, let's schedule a time to talk, et cetera, et cetera. So let me give you an example of what that would look like. Andrew, that link I had is the IndusVid link isn't. It's giving me a 500 error.
Let me just ask. That one.
That's fine. So, guys, I'll show you. This was just an internal demo that we were going through on a team meeting, and I'll show you what that looks like. And it's different, right? It's nothing I've really ever seen before done in the space, but I've always wanted to take advantage of. Where imagine you had like a pre-recorded marketing or pitch video, and if you had a yes or no question that people could click on the button, so now you can have interactive videos, right? After the fact that it was a personalized video that said, hi, John, on the video. You could have personalized aspects, and then if someone says yes or no, you would have pre-recorded responses to whether they clicked yes or no. And I was like, This could get really interesting if you could have 3 or 5 step branches, kind of like that movie on Netflix. What was it, Bandersnatch or something, where it was like you had like 800 different variations of the same show that you could watch, or the same movie that you could watch, based on the buttons that you were selecting or clicking. You could technically create your own type of marketing experience or video where you're speaking in advance to customers through that same type of like Bandersnatch, choose your own experience, or choose your own responses. So we'll put that up here in just a second. Perfect, thank you. And I'll put that up real quick. There you go. Not sure who you are, sir, but thank you very much for the kind words, Tinder. All right, let me see if I can pull it up here. Give me one sec. All right, got it. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. All right, so I want you to take a look at this. You'll see what I mean.
Hey, hope you're having a fantastic day. I took a look at your website this morning and I have to tell you it looks great. I do have some ideas on how we could work together to just figure out. Would you like to connect sometime?
So I have the option of literally clicking yes and watch this response.
Great. Let me know whenever is the best time for you to chat.
Right, so I've done pre-recorded responses, and if you say no, like let's say someone, I sent the link to someone and someone said no, you could say, oh, are you sure? If you do, I'll give you 20 or 30% off my services. In other words, you can tell what they're gonna, you can kind of incentivize them that even if they say no, you can still try to save the potential sale, right? Anyways, if you click book a call with me, just so you guys know, organically it'll take you to a Calendly link. That's the purpose in ending the experience right there. But the point being is, and a lot of you guys knew this from the get-go, I really like this because of the fact that I've never seen anything like this in the video space. You guys know that I've been Team Nexweave from the get-go, but this is one of the big reasons why. Not just personalization, but also interactivity on videos. Interactivity on videos, and here's a perfect example how you could do branching tree, kind of like storylines with a lot of your marketing videos and campaigns. So yeah. Anyways, I was impressed by that, and I figured I would show that off. So yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to be honest, many of the users, when they got the initial deals and they saw that there are CTAs on the videos, they came up and they shared examples of how you could do this with Video Ask and a few other tools, where you could have parts of the video shown based on what responses they given or after they given responses. So when we started building Nexweave, this was one of the primary use cases that came up even from the e-commerce audience, where they said that if you're sending someone a catalog which contains 3 recommendations, they might not want to see all 3 recommendations or details of all 3 products. So they might as well pick up one of them and just see that particular recommendation, and then they can choose to buy it or refer it to someone else also. So that's why we thought that let's combine what's there in similar solutions and add a touch of personalization so that people can have these kind of pre-qualification for their leads, etc.
And that does make sense in terms of, like you said, the pre-qualifications. We'll know based on this if they're already interested or not. Plus, it'll look like you spent the time to actually create a personalized video. And this literally applies to anything. So a lot of you guys know that I kind of came from the entertainment space. This would be amazing as part of the outreach. You're saying, hey, my album just dropped, right? Or anything really even sales related. Hey, I have this new service. I have this new consulting offering that I want to provide you. By the way, it'll say that person's name. They don't need to know that. They'll assume that you created a personalized video for them. They don't need to know that you're using Nexweave to create 500, 5,000, 50,000 different personalized videos as part of your marketing outreach efforts. They don't need to know that, but you can know that. So, and because of the sub-accounts that just rolled out, guess what? You can offer the same services to your clients as well. Let me go and put that up on the screen. That's right there, guys. If you want to go ahead and have a free license, come join us on camera. That's the StreamYard link. You'll join us just like Ender is right here, and then you'll be person number 4. And yeah, that's going to be for everyone. We're going to do that for the next 2 or 3 weeks too. So, have any questions? Come on and discuss your use case, and it'll be fun. It'll be interesting.
In fact, next week you'll also hear one more announcement from us. We are going to be putting out a community rewards program. That's primarily because we've seen better use cases come up from the community than our internal team could think of, and I'm being very frank about that. So we'll be incentivizing people to come forth and start suggesting ideas, integrations, use cases, case studies that they've done, and we push to the community. And whoever becomes a top contributor over the next quarter is going to get some exciting prizes from us. So stay tuned. We're going to make that announcement sometime next week. And the earlier you hop on board, the more the chances you've got to earn more points on that. It's not going to be a raffles or a lottery sort of a system. It's going to be purely based on the amount of content that you contribute and the amount of help that you offer to the community as such.
We'll have a more elaborate and in-depth announcement about that next week too. So stay tuned to watch us. We do this around Thursday between 9 and 10 p.m., 9 and 10 a.m. Pacific. So just be on the lookout for that. And it doesn't matter if you're Europe, India, United States. We try to make that specific time zone where everyone can participate. So yeah. Now, what's going to be also interesting, and Inder and I were talking about this. So Inder, don't kill me, but if you decide to engage further, there's going to be some major announces and surprises for those of you who really get involved with the community too. Bigger than what you would expect. I'll just leave it at that. And so you'll have to tune in next week to find out, because I don't want Inder to kill me. So yeah. So
I'll just give you guys a hint, since Bruce is very excited about this. That, the rewards won't be free codes or upgraded accounts. They'll be real tangible rewards that you can win through the community initiatives.
Tangible, as in something physical. There you go. Let's see what else. Okay. So like I said, sub accounts just rolled out like maybe 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago too. So now you'll be able to have clients and their let's say their services, you'll be able to use it. And then in the future, guys, don't forget that we'll also be allowing SMTP within Nexweave, so that way you don't have to use a third-party service for your campaign. So you'll be able to have GIF personalization, photo personalization, and video personalization as well. And we happen to have one person, Jorge, if you're all set, go ahead and give me the thumbs up, and then we'll have you come up on camera. Perfect. Thank you for joining us, Jorge Rivron.
How are you guys?
Hey, Jorge.
Hey, hi, Jose.
In love with the good news.
We thought you might like that.
Yeah. Great good news. Super product. Great people behind the product. I really love it. And, always good news from you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the kind words.
So Jorge is from our early access community. He's been supporting us since over 3 or 4 months now with all of his inputs. We've had a couple of conversations. So yeah, I owe it to you guys. The inputs you've given us has taken us a long way, and just keep your support coming in.
Great, my friend. Of course, I'm sure the product is going to be, the leader really, really soon.
Glad you believe in us.
Well, I was talking about that. I've never seen like a platform that has part of their ecosystem almost every time of media that's covered. I mean, that right there just kind of makes Nexweave stand apart from the rest of the competition already.
Just 1 second, I'm gonna pull that up.
Agree, totally agree.
And
There
is
are
it
other
experience, and then you can say, yes,
tools
like a
outside,
platform
but
has
nothing
part of
like
their
this.
ecosystem. Sorry, can you say it again, Jorge?
Yes, I have seen there are other good tools outside, but nothing like Nexweave. All the integration, all the stuff, all the magic that you do with video, images is really, really amazing.
That's kind of what stood out to me too. So let me give you guys a little background on context on why I was working with Inder. About a year ago, there was a TV show called Avenue 5 that was on HBO, played by the actor who was in House. And what I saw was an employee who was a pilot on that, because it's a future sci-fi kind of comedy where people would take a trip in space in a yacht, and that yacht is a massive spaceship. But it was like a luxury cruise liner. And so it started where there was an employee who was a pilot that turned out to be a fake pilot who was just an actor because the plane flew on autopilot. But the point being is on her hologram screen, there was an advertisement, and that advertisement had her name on that advertisement, and it was in video. And I thought to myself, if this is going to be the technology of the future, 100 years from now, where you're going to have video that's going to be personalized, that people can interact with, I thought to myself, this is Nexweave 100 years before what we're going to see in the future, right? Kind of similar to what you would see on the WALL-E movie. That type of big spaceship where people will have holograms, they'll interact with the screens, and it will have an advertisement with their name, and then they can interact with that video. This is the exact same kind of tech I can see being propelled and used by companies from here until forevermore, because video is not going to go away. Little by little, I see people not using photos as much in their marketing because it's not as effective. So what we've done is, yes, we'll make videos into GIFs. We'll make videos into memes that are animated, and we'll add a level of personalization. Yes, fine, right? Obviously, you do that on your email outreach, but nothing will trump like the appeal and the interest that video provides us, to our brains, to our minds. And when I saw that, and Inder knows, that's the story that I told him. I was like, this looks exactly what I saw on Avenue 5 on HBO. And I was like, for that reason, I can see this being a product standing for the next 100 years. And that's why I've been working with him ever since. So, Inder, that was like what, a year, 16 to 18 months ago?
Yeah, I think that was back in 2019 when you started discussing this.
Oh my gosh, 2019, before COVID. Yeah.
Amazing.
So this has been a little bit in the development process since then. But Jorge, I just wanted to give you that heads up. So thank you for joining us. Appreciate you being a valued member of the community. You and I should talk more off camera too. But thank you very much, sir, for coming on today's stream. I loved it and appreciate it. And join us next week too. Let us know like some of the new features that you got a chance to play with, like play with sub accounts, play with the CNAME. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you on camera next week. Please join us. Please join us. We want to make you a regular.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Bye. That was awesome. That was awesome. That's one of our early adopters, guys. So, man, I've seen him chat on the groups a little bit, but I've never really talked to him in person. That was cool.
In fact, I think I just spoke to a few of our early adopters today while I was updating them on the benefits that they get with this particular launch. And I think in the subsequent sessions, we'll have more of them come over, share their success stories, share the kind of use cases that they've developed. We've got someone who's made a course for us as well. So she's going to be hopping on the next set of calls. Yeah, so I think it's only going to get better from over here. The coming week itself, we'll probably have about 4 to 5 sessions with different groups. And then we'll obviously continue this particular session every week.
And in the process, I'm going to say hi to all the Sumo links that are going to be coming on right now. We're going to put the stream live inside the Facebook group of Appsumo's official Facebook group too. So, and the 20 of you that were joining us, thank you very much for hanging out with us today. Appreciate that.
Thank you, guys. Keep following the updates. Join the community. For those of you who've been there in the community since a long time, welcome. The new ones will be coming in. Help them out so that they can embrace Nexweave better. And the ones who haven't joined us as yet, hop into the community and you'll see a very warm welcome, a lot of value being added over there. So I'm sure you're going to love it.
There we go. All righty. Just waiting for the mods over there to go ahead and push that through. And I think we're going to have some more community members join us on camera. Here we go. Okay, so there's going to be something that, Andrew, you're maybe not prepared for, but I'm going to ask you about because we've seen it come in the groups a little bit. And so we really haven't addressed it publicly on a large stage. But let's go there because it's kind of like the elephant in the room because people notice that we have photos, personalization, GIF or meme personalization, and video personalization. The one we don't really talk about much is web, right? We do have a level of web personalization. And so guys, just so you know, we're trying to make it like a full experience. But the one that people have asked for and they have not really seen in the space, combined with a full personalized platform, but that is audio. So let me give you a chance to address that for, we've seen a half dozen people ask that as well. Let's have you discuss that for, the people that have brought it up during the Appsumo campaign.
Yeah, so we are right now focused on the visual personalization piece, which is why we covered image, GIF, videos, and website personalization. I think we still have a long way to go in terms of perfecting that piece by taking in the inputs. But like I said, we're open to having integrations with someone who's got a text-to-speech solution. We've been contacted by the founder of Listener. And if there are others who probably want to work with us and offer that piece where they perfected the audio personalization and we focus on visual personalization, then we're happy to speak to them. So if you know anyone, introduce us to them and we can get a conversation going. In fact, I'm speaking to the founder of Listener next week to see how we can integrate the two services. So maybe we might not offer it ourselves, but very soon there might be an integration where audio comes into the whole package as well.
Got it. And you know what? I think that so the platform is already kind of like the holy grail of personalization, right? And the one aspect of the experience that I think people aren't taking in consideration is web. Once you saw, for example, that the aspect of video there where it was Harpreet. By the way, guys, that was Harpreet who was on the camera. Thank you. Very lovely. Appreciate the demo. Once you clicked yes, right, and you, let's say, went to a certain destination. Let's say you went to a website, and the website had, let's say, a calendar link on it. And let's say after the calendar link, it was an embed on your hosted website, and it would have at the top, it would say like, hi, John, thank you for visiting, or thank you for scheduling a booking with us, because obviously we were able to see who was sent there from, the email campaign. Web is another layer of personalization that you can add on as part of the full personalized experience. I'm not sure if a lot of you guys know that, but that's like the next step that you can take. That makes, in and of itself right there, like Nexweave, just the complete holy grail. Of course, if you want to add the cherry and the icing on top, having some sort of audio personalization on top of that just not only makes the platform more valuable, but then there's literally nothing else for people to try to think of, like to contemplate. I'm like, what other piece of media could I sit there and try to personalize? The only other one that I could think of is location, but like GPS media, attaching it to like a social media post, but you can't associate personalization to a location check-in. I mean, because that's the last thing that's it besides photo, GIF, meme, video, and web and audio. I don't think there's anything else that even if you wanted to, you couldn't wish for something more. So I'm just putting that out there that I was like, once you guys have audio personalization, right now it's the most robust thing on the market that I've ever seen, even with competitors. But even if you include audio personalization, that's just like, it's not even really that important. But then there's literally no one who could be competing with you in terms of how robust your services might be, or the platform might be. And so if I had to explain something, like, let's say, the importance of it, and I'm going to say it's going to be something like Zapier. You and I have talked about that a lot, about what would we call it in a 2-second pitch, right? Something very short, very small that people in the software industry would understand. Would it be safe to say that it's like, oh, it's Zapier but for personalization, where you would have currently we have 100 integrations. The idea is to integrate with as many tools as possible. And I think the goal eventually is to have somewhere up to like 200 by, what was it, next summer? 200
So in fact,
integrations.
the very fact that we are opening up the SDK, it will bring in more avenues. Like you mentioned, someone could make a micro application which is detecting the location as well, probably from some parameters, and they could have something developed as a micro application which will detect the location and either greet you based on the location or the language of the location, so on and so forth. So the whole idea of having the SDK is that we've reached a point where we've integrated with Zapier, Integromat, and the other LTD automation platforms that are coming. Now, once we open up the development kit also for others, they can leverage the fact there are integrations available, but you can have your own HTML components built, which can take in more APIs and have richer interactivity within the videos. So once it goes out, I think we'll have a couple of richer examples as a showcase, and then the community can hop on board and try to develop micro applications that will flow into the advanced component section.
So let's talk about that real quick with the SDK. And yes, audio personalization is the future. Omar, give us just a sec. We have a second caller. Omar, give us just a second. We'll have you come on. So let's talk about the SDK real quick. What is something different that you think that might be a possibility that people could incorporate components or aspects of the SDK, whether it be to enhance their existing Nexweave campaigns, or if we're talking, let's say, off of the Nexweave platform? What are some interesting tricks or features that you could see people playing with once the SDK is released?
So I'll give an example based on the conversations that we're having right now. One of our customers is working with brands who want to have some element of gamification and leaderboard-based activities coming in. So what they're discussing with us is that when someone gets an experience, they're invited into a short mini game where they have to answer certain questions or play a quiz, etc., etc. And these scores are going to be relayed back to their leaderboard. And based on the scores on the leaderboard, they'll be getting the next set of sequences. So imagine a web of interactive, personalized sequences where, depending on your score, you're being routed to a different experience. And this is the whole campaign for that particular brand. And all of this gets pushed to the leaderboard, and whoever has top score over there is the one who gets the reward. So this is an example of how the SDK can be extended to have a wide array of HTML-based applications appearing within the video itself.
And technically, you could even make the leaderboard personalized in one of two ways. Either A, the name is dynamic, and it will reflect who's the #1 leader, and say John is the leader, or Mary is leader 1. Or you could say, hey, visitor, hi, visitor, and then their name. Thank you for joining. Take a look at today's leaders of this competition, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I could see that being applicable both ways. Omar, thank you for waiting. If you're good to go ahead and give us a thumbs up, and I'll have you come up on camera. Perfect. All right, guys, let's go ahead and welcome our second caller, Omar.
Hey guys,
first time, long time.
You know,
yeah, how are you? Everybody okay?
We're good. We're good. Good to see you on camera. We've had a lot of interaction with you in the streams over like the past year, right? And it's good to actually not just for myself, but for the community and everyone to see you with a face-to-face interaction. So give us a little bit of feedback, what you think, what you've thought of Nexweave, what you've seen it change, what do you like now, et cetera, et cetera.
I've always told Linda, I said, I'm the biggest fan of Nexweave. I'm the biggest fan of Nexweave. I absolutely love it. I go on about it to absolutely everybody. Now that it's on Appsumo, people are finally realizing what I've been talking about. So, you know, hopefully on the weekend, Inder is going to showcase more of the product with our community. So looking forward to that. But talking about SDKs, I mean, if we could have a Nexweave marketplace where, because not everybody has access to a developer. If we have a Nexweave marketplace where developers create, you know, their own add-ons and then people can purchase them, or templates, whatever it may be, I think that would be a brilliant addition. But as it is now, I'm excited and I'm happy, and yeah, it's a good product.
So Omar has been one of those guys who've been reading our minds. He has a few things lined up himself as well. So what he said is right. It is in a way a build-up to the marketplace, where once the developers can come and create these micro apps, I'm sure many of them can be used by a variety of audiences. So it's just a build-up to that. We're going to be opening up the platform even more. You can still create your templates right now, but you can't make your own widgets. Very soon you'll be able to create those widgets as well. And then we will have the marketplace coming in where you can list them out and let others use them.
Okay, so let's talk about that. And Omar, while you're here, I want you to hear this too. When we talk about widgets, what are we talking about specifically so people can understand? Because people associate widget like, okay, maybe there's a little chat bubble, right here. So that way they could like click on it and begin talking with someone, right? Or they'll see a chat over here that's like, you know, let me read some articles or some help knowledge base pages. When you say widgets, what type of functionality are we thinking is going to be included when widgets are released for next week?
Are you asking me or Inder?
Inder. Omar, I wanted you here so you could hear it right from Inder himself.
Okay, yeah.
Or from Ashtosh. Ashtosh, feel free to chime in.
So let me give you a very simple idea. We've seen so many interactive components in the regular website space where someone has got maybe a pop-up with a spinner or a small quiz where they answer 3 questions and you unlock something, etc., etc. So if I have to classify that as a library of interactions, people have already made a lot of them for the web space. Now imagine you have those interactions coming over top of a media experience where you're watching a video, the video halts, and then allows you to play a small game. And maybe depending on the score, it allows you to move to a different point in the video and show you something over there. So this is just a very small example, but what we'll be trying to do is get the whole Web 2.0 interactivity over a media experience so that it becomes richer video experiences. You don't have to just sit back and watch the video, but be truly part of the whole experience.
So this is one. The other one. So other thing can be like in the video. So suppose you own any e-commerce store, right? And you can develop a cart widget for your store directly. And suppose in your video you're adding few products, and you want them to add in the cart directly from the video, not going to website while the video is playing. So that thing can be developed using a widget, and on top of the video, those things will be added. The user will add directly in the cart and make a payment directly from the video, rather than not going to website or anything from the same page.
I guess I need to see that in person in order to properly visualize that, because it's one thing for me to tell people that you can do your choose your own adventure until I literally show them the video and then they click yes, and there's an automated response that comes preloaded when they clicked yes. Once you see that, you're like automatically sold, right? That's like, bitch, and that's amazing. I want that. It's another thing for to say, well, cool, widgets are going to be able to let you do this and do that. I guess I need to see the visual before I go crazy with excitement. So that being said, Ashtosh, Inder, when is widgets coming out for next week?
So if you head over to the advanced component section, you'll see 2 widgets over there right now as well. And let's do this. Let's do any this week, so that in the next week's session, we can put together a demo where we have plugin paid working with Nexweave, and we can show how products are going to be shown within the video experience. So for those of them who bought both the deals, they'll see value in the combination as well.
I like that. I definitely like that. Well, we could probably have Emmy come up on screen then too at the same time, discussing that. That's a type of an integration, right? Using widgets. I think that makes total sense. So you guys heard it. If you guys don't remember, Plug and Paid was like a shopping cart affiliate platform that had, kind of like similar to what you would see on Appsumo, where you could log in, see the review the history of all your purchases, or process a refund. It was like, at the time, it was not as developed as it is now. Obviously, it's much more developed in the past year and a half or 2 years. But that was a integration partner that happens to do, monthly subscriptions and one-time payments through a shopping cart service. And we ended up connecting together like in September, October, November of last year to do a campaign together because there was intention to do a integration between both parties. So I think it just makes sense that yes, we do bring them back on because they've also grown. You guys have also grown, but with sub accounts, that's just like a perfect marriage there. But yes, let's talk about the widgets and let's have Emmy come up on camera. I think that makes total sense. And everyone who purchased in both Nexweave or people who purchased in Plug and Pay can see how they could take advantage of Nexweave with their Plug and Pay purchase and vice versa. Yeah, that makes total sense. 100%. I agree with you there. Yeah.
In fact, after that, maybe those of you who are using WooCommerce, Shopify, etc., you'll also get a better idea in terms of how you can use the combination of Nexweave with an e-commerce product. And I think what he's saying is right. We'll probably make some demos on how widgets can be used. And I'm sure the community would have better ideas. So if you want to see something specific, maybe a month from now, then we can list out maybe 2 or 3 widgets that we can ask someone to develop. And that can be showcased towards maybe the beginning of next month or something around that.
I love that. I like that idea. Omar, thoughts and desires before we let you go?
My desires has always been hotspots. So how I see the future is a lot of products being launched via online events to include some sort of hyper personalization within that. With the hotspots would be a complete game changer, like complete game changer. So yeah, I know that's not very near on the roadmap, but hopefully in a year or two, if we can have something like that, that would be amazing.
So in fact, Omar, you can head to the advanced component section after this call, and you'll see an example of hotspots as one of the widgets available over there. So go try it out. You'll be able to define a button on the video, hover over it, open up the details of that particular product, and try to buy it.
So then, is it safe to say that both widgets and hotspots are technically available now for people who want to play with it?
Hotspots are actually one of the widgets. So the widget library is going to be larger once the SDK goes out, depending on how many developers embrace the whole platform. But the product overlay is one widget. The form that we've added, that's another widget. So that the number of widgets can just keep expanding based on how people embrace the SDK. We also have a couple of other ones like the click to call, the click to email as the interaction that we defined because they were fairly simple. So there is slightly different or complicated functionality coming in your way. You can just start playing with these and give us more ideas.
Nice.
Well, I'll put this out there. Technically, also, could people create their own hotspots without the need for a widget? Is that something that you guys can see being implemented in the future? Where, well, remember we talked about that for video hotspots, right? When someone was like, was it jogging on the beach, and then there was a like a little hotspot that floated, let's say, on their sneakers. That every time they would take a step, you'd see the hotspot bounce with their feet as the feet bounced on the beach. Is that coming natively, or is that something that is going to be quarantined off into the widget section?
So right now we've got static hotspots. So you can place it along the video, make it appear from one point to the other on the timeline. But we are doing some research in terms of how we can have dynamic hotspots which trace an object. I think Ashutosh gave us a glimpse of that a couple of months back. So we try to productize the whole thing and then make it available.
That would be hot. I'd love to show that on a next like live stream or two, and put that up and say, hey guys, now you could do like dynamic video hotspots as someone's running, and have that. Ashutosh, I'm talking to you. That would be awesome to show that kind of demo. Just FYI. And by the way, you're muted, but that would be awesome to show that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Yeah.
Actually, we'll have to show that in one of the upcoming. Streams. Just so you guys know, a hotspot is kind of like a little circle that is basically an interactive button, right? So let's say if I'm talking, we could put a button on this tie that like pulsates pulsates a little bit. And then you would click on it, and then it would show maybe a preview of this purple tie, or if you click on it, it would take you to, let's say, an Amazon landing page to purchase the tie. That's what we're talking about. And so, we do have the static component for photos. What I'm referring to and what Omar's referring to is having that apply on videos as well. So you would be able to, let's say, track something if something was moving, or apply it as like an overlay, like a static, non-moving overlay to videos. Anyways, that's what we're referring to hotspots. It's like little interactive buttons. So helpful if you want to like sell something, as an example. So yeah, making your videos interactive.
Let me give you guys a glimpse of that since it's available on the platform right now. I'll just share my screen and give you guys an idea in terms of how it will appear.
There it is. Okay, we'll pull it up.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yep.
Yes, so this is the video that you just saw.
Hey, hope you're having a fantastic day. I took a look at your website this morning and I have to tell you.
So let's say over here, I want to add a hotspot where someone can ask a question or something like that. If you head over to the advanced component section, which used to be empty earlier, you will find these two options over here. So if I add a tooltip widget, you can place it somewhere and choose what needs to be displayed over here with all of these options. And once that setting is done and I play this video once again, this information will only appear when I hover over this button. So just to give you guys an idea.
Hey, hope you're having a fantastic day. I took a look at your website this morning and I have to tell you it looks great. However, I do.
So only when you hover on this thing is when this will appear. The video will halt so that you can take an action. And when you move out of it, the video will play once again.
Yeah. Would you like to connect sometime?
Omar, we're gonna have to play with it some more.
Yeah, very, very nice addition.
So there's another one, which is the form widget. And I leave you guys to go ahead and try that. It's fairly simple. You can insert a form wherever you require. You can choose what information needs to be captured. So you can head to the form fields, select that I want to capture the name or the phone number, etc., etc. And then the form will push in information to your report section. So you can also use this for lead generation now. In fact, you can also choose that you don't want the video to proceed until someone fills up a form. So I think that's a use case that was being shared by many of them who were using Vistia earlier. So that's now available on Nexweave.
Impressive.
Well, hotspots are there. What's next, Omar? Ender, what took you so long? That only took 3 seconds. What took you so long? what did you ask for?
I think next is the dynamic hotspot.
You know that's down the line. If they already have the static hotspots on video, you know the dynamic is going to be right around the corner.
Yeah, and for product launches, that would be like an absolute game changer. So many people like doing live launches now online to their communities, using Zoom, running the world, all these different types of products. It's just so like your customer base is so accessible now, rather than a product hitting the stores, everybody's going online. They get to find out all the pros and cons about the product and make an informed decision there and then. With the hotspots, one click could even, if it's a deep integration, add the product directly to your cart. So complete game changer.
When you think of carts, I'm thinking also in plug and pay. So that kind of also makes sense there too. You're gonna have to brush that off of your what is it? The shelf. We'll have to play with it a little bit as well. We have a question coming up. Nexweave, the offer is still good. Hi there, Hannah Delgado. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, actually, let me put the I'll put the Appsumo link here up on the screen for everyone. I apologize. I should have done that earlier. And I'll share with the screen with everyone too, just so you understand what you are looking at. And let's talk about the actual campaign. Let's talk about the Appsumo Launch here a little bit. Here we go. And I'll put the link at the bottom for everyone. There you go. So you're looking at products/Nexweave for Appsumo.com. And Appsumo did a great job on the commercial here. And let's go ahead and talk about the limits real quick. But this is going to be updated in 24 to 48 hours. There we go. Inder, would you like to start? Or do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, so what we've done is that we've got plans to expand the user base aggressively, which is why we're in Appsumo. We managed to get about 250 people join our early access campaign, and the goal is to get at least to beyond about 2,000 individuals with this particular campaign. And the reason for doing that is that once we have the SDK rolled out, we can invite developers to serve a much larger audience base which comes on board to Appsumo. That will also accelerate the entire ecosystem and help you guys get a wide range of assets available on the platform. So we've gone ahead with a slightly more aggressive deal than the early access campaign. But rest assured, if you are part of the early access group, you've got benefits which are at par or better than the Appsumo deal because you backed us first. But at the same time, we want to get more people on board, and hence we've gone more aggressive. So on the first tier itself, you get access to both the widgets which are available. You get 1,000 credits. Each credit is used when someone views a video, not when you send it. Or the credits can be used as images or GIFs as well. So 20 images viewed is 1 credit, or 4 GIFs viewed is 1 credit. We have a link available which explains the whole credits functionality. So you can go through it, see a few scenarios over there, and if you've got queries, you can get back to us. Tier 1 gives you 1,000 credits. Jump to Tier 2, and you get 2,500 credits for twice the price. You also get CNAME for image and video links. And this is one of the most interesting features that was demanded in the last campaign, which sort of gives you a white glove experience when you serve your customers. Your links are going to be carrying your own custom domain instead of our img.nexweave.com or wid.nexweave.com, which means that when you serve these links to your audiences, they would not even know that Nexweave is running in the background. They will see your URLs end to end. If you jump to the next tier, it gives you 7,500 monthly credits, and your video pulse rate goes up from 60 seconds to 90 seconds. By the way, there's a correction over there. All of the videos are full HD, 1080p videos. That's an update that we just getting done from the Appsumo team. You also get the SMTP functionality in 2 sub-accounts, which means someone can go ahead and send emails to your sub-accounts and notifications through your email address itself. It won't be sent from our platform. Or if you want, it can be still sent, but that option remains with you. Jumping over to Tier 4 and Tier 5 is where things get more interesting. With Tier 4, you get access to CNAME for your agency, which means that you will have your own custom login URL as well as a white label experience on your account. And with Tier 5, that experience is also going to be extended to your sub-account. So you get 10 sub-accounts with the Tier 5 plan. You can have login URLs for each of those 10 sub-accounts, and each of those 10 accounts can be white labeled. So when you log into them, they will have their own logos, they will have their own login page, and so on and so forth.
That's hot. That's interesting right there. And every sub account can have their own CNAME also. That's sexy.
And while we're discussing this, maybe Bruce, you can hop on to help.nexweave.com, and we can show you guys how much of an effort it has gone in terms of making the whole documentation fairly detailed. So maybe you can open help.nexweave.com and I can show them. Yes. So unlike our last campaign where we had launched with very little documentation and we had to spend a lot of time explaining people how to use the product, that has helped us also give insights on how we can make the product better. But it also gave us ideas on what could have been done to make it easier and more towards the self-serve audiences. So now when you go on to help.nexweave.com, you've got detailed documentation, how to use specific integrations, what kind of campaigns can be done, how you can use teams, workspaces, sub-accounts. There's a tips and tricks section where you're going to see at least 2 videos being added every week now, which Shreya and the other 4 team members that we've added to the team, who will be taking in inputs from you or suggestions from us to go ahead and create examples on how Nexweave can be used with a variety of tools, be it the ones what are integrated with Zapier, Pabbly, or the ones natively integrated with us. And there's a white label solution option also there. Go ahead, check it out if you're keen on the tier 4 or tier 5 plan, or if you've already bought anything above the 5 code stack on the early access, because that will explain you how you can make use of your tier benefits to have a fully white label experience given to your customers.
The one I think a lot of people have been asking about is integrations, because there's so many different options to play with. I mean, I think there's like 100 of them or 90, between 80 and 100 integrations. That, guys, if you have any questions, I'll put this URL up on the screen too. We've been getting a lot of questions about that, you know, if something is released or not. So let me go ahead and show that up for everyone. There you go. This here is where you'll be able to see, you know, whether the tool that you've purchased will integrate with any of our existing integration partners. Yep. Marketing
so that gives
automation.
you a glimpse of what kind of tools you can use Nexweave with. And just in case there is a platform that you're using that's not over there, you can head to our roadmap, submit it as one of the ideas. And like Bruce said, our goal is that we want to have a list of at least 200 platforms listed over there. So if you have any suggestions, go and put it into the list so that others can also vote on it. And we're picking up the ones which have the highest votes and moving them over here.
And I think we're using Product Stash for the voting too, right?
Correct.
There you go. But it's also the roadmap URL. I'll go ahead and share that up with everyone. Okay. So guys, if you have a specific idea or request, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for everyone. There we are. And I'll put that up there too. If you have some ideas that you'd like us to vote on, or some suggestions, because you want to have Nexweave integrate with a certain tool, I'll go ahead and give you the URL right now.
So once you're on this page, you can click on the ideas option over there. So maybe Bruce, you can just take them to the ideas section. And there's an option to submit an idea over there. So go ahead and fill in anything that you want us to do. It could be an integration. It could be a suggestion on a feature for the image personalization piece. It could be a suggestion on how we could use or make improvements to the campaigns feature. And you can have the community then vote on those options so that we can start picking them up and making them available.
Thank you to everyone who's been submitting in some suggestions and voting on it as well. Love that. By the way, I should probably put this up on the screen. We do have a question regarding integrations. Hannah, thank you for joining us. We'll have you come on as a caller here in just a little bit, as soon as we finish up talking about the roadmap and voting. And let me put that up. Do you have a WhatsApp integration instead of a WhatsApp API through Connexit?
So right now we don't have a direct WhatsApp integration, but we are speaking to a couple of WhatsApp business solution providers to see how we can work with them and do that piece. And the reason for that is that if there are certain individuals who have that expertise in terms of running the WhatsApp business ecosystem, then we can focus on the personalization piece and then recommend you guys to work with them with the collaboration with Nexweave and run the campaigns a lot better. So there is Akshay, who's building WA API, who we're in discussion with. We've had a conversation with Pratik from BotBaba as well. We in fact did a common deal as well. So have a look at those options, and then maybe we can recommend you who can be the right one to work with.
Perfect. Alrighty, I'm gonna go and pull that down. Thank you very much for the question there. That usually comes up too when we have a major event. So thank you very much for that. Omar, that being said, thank you for joining us. I'll let you go. And you too, you've been one of our biggest supporters and early adopters, and I'm looking forward to having you come on. And hey, you know what? If you want to show up and hang out with us for 10 minutes, 5 minutes every week, I love that too. You have a huge brain, and you are a major asset to the community. So I thank you, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Take care, guys.
Later, Omar. Have a good one. Thank you.
We're having a session with Omar in a couple of days. So Omar, if you want to tell the community about that, you can do that as well.
Yeah, so we've arranged a little community get together to discuss Nexweave on Saturday, 3 p.m. UK time, 7:30 p.m. India time. I think it's 10 a.m. Canada US time. So plenty of Facebook groups have received the post, so feel free to join us. It'd be good.
Perfect. Thanks, Omar.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
Thanks so much.
it. Take care. Bye. Alrighty, Hannah, if you're good to go, give us a thumbs up and we'll have you come up on screen. Perfect. Here we go. Hannah, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I just came very late into the show. I was just like wanting to look into Nexweave. By the way, in there, I remember Nexweave when you got interviewed by Mary before from Gasosho from a Facebook group. So that's why it was so familiar to me. So I'm glad it's on Appsumo.
Yeah, in fact, that was one of the most interesting sessions where we had, I think, roughly 150 comments after that session. I thought we enjoyed that one.
All right, that's great.
Hannah, do you have any questions for us or anything that you'd like to comment that you like recently as of late regarding Nexweave or the platform itself? Or Ender?
Yeah, for this one, actually, I just really got into it very recently again because as far as I remember, back then, I didn't really have much of a use case since I didn't have a list before. But now that I do have a list that I can send it to, I just really wanted to try it out. And now that it's on, there's an option for me to try it out, then that's why I'm here. It's really great. Like even before, the fact that you can just personalize anything, and it really looked like it's magic to me because it's just so automated. So that's what I really like. And yeah, I'm just fangirling here.
So in fact, if cold outreach is something that you're looking forward to, there's going to be a session with Caleb sometime next week where we'll be covering aspects of how Nexweave can be used with cold outreach. So join that session as well, and you'll get to see some examples over there as well. Those
All right,
guys are the experts in cold outreach.
Okay, thank you. I will. Thank you.
There's something also to be said, Hannah. In the future, you'll also be able to use some aspects of Nexweave using your own SMTP account or server if you have one. So that's something to look forward to in the next couple months.
Okay. Yeah, it's on the roadmap, as I saw.
Anything else that you're looking forward to before we let you go?
That's it, really. I just really want to say a quick hello, and again, thank you for having me. That's it for now.
Appreciate that, Hannah. Thank you very much for coming on. And you know what? We're going to be doing this every week, so feel free to join us in one of the upcoming sessions as well.
All right, I will. Bye, guys.
Have a good one. Take care. Bye. All right, we have caller number, I lost count, number 4, number 5. Looks like we have one. If you're good to go, give me the thumbs up and we'll have you come up on screen. You good? I think he's still trying to get his camera set up. 1, if you're all set, give me the thumbs up and we'll have you come up. I'm not sure if he's ready yet. 1, are you good to go? I think his internet's going in and out. He looks like he's frozen. There it is. Let's see if I can bring him on. Did I just lose his video? I think I just lost his video. We'll have to give 1 a second there to get his stream situated. And we just lost him. Okay. All right, 1, try to come back later when you get a chance. Appreciate that. Let's see what else. We're coming up. Actually, we just passed the hour mark, so I'm going to thank all of you that have stuck with us throughout the whole time. We had one question from 1 that I want to put up on screen that I don't think we've ever discussed before, but let me put it up there. Bruce, can you talk about use cases for using Nexweave in live video? That's a good one. So I'll discuss two ways. So one is an event beforehand, right? You may have a live video that you want to promote to a community, and you want to notify the community via email, right? So it obviously makes sense that you would send out like a Nexweave customized video to, or a Nexweave customized email to everyone as part of your community to notify them about an upcoming live video stream. So, right, so that's number one. Number two is the post portion, right? So once the video is completed, who had a good integration and I think would work with that? What SendFox has that. So once a video, let's say, is uploaded to, let's say, YouTube, you can have a kind of like an email notification broadcast where it will tell people, hey, a new video has been uploaded to a YouTube account, right? In this case, you could do a live video. And once the live video is completed, you could use Nexweave with SendFox to notify everyone as part of your SendFox subscriber list, similar to a MailChimp list, and say, hey, you know, Bruce and Inder just finished, and Ashtosh just finished up with their live video. Go watch it now. And it would be a Nexweave personalized, enhanced email notifying everyone that the video has just recently been uploaded, when it was really a live stream, and the live stream just finished completed. And then YouTube took like an hour or two to finish the encoding and rendering in multiple formats. And once that was done, an email was sent out to everyone. But looks like, oh, Juan is back. I just answered your question, Juan, about live video. Let me have you come up on screen real quick before I lose you. There you go.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
You're looking good, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, so I was on the way over here, and I actually am at a friend's shop, friend/client, and I got him excited about Nexweave, and he does this. He makes, I don't know if you can see it. This is my friend, homeboy, friend, partner, Shiggy. That's Shade, and he makes African swords. He makes African, yeah. So this is what he does. So I'm in the shop, so the shop is a little. So he makes, this is a blank. So he makes swords. The name is Street Forge Armory, and I got him excited about Nexweave, and I just wanted to see if Ender or somebody can just tell him how he can use Nexweave for his business.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. Yep.
In fact, I probably want to see how he is making the swords, or if you've got some videos, just push them across to me as well. I'm thinking about it.
I'll take two.
Yeah. So we were talking about different use cases, and the only one that I can come up with one initially is as from a customer service standpoint. So he gets an order. He doesn't do cold email. It's a traditional e-com, a brick and mortar business. He gets an order, and the order comes in, and then he says, then we could create a template. The template says, thank you for ordering the latest Shotel. Thank you for ordering this, and Bruce, your order is on the way. So that's what I came up with for a use case. So, but he's excited to know more about some other use cases that he can use to use Nexweave.
Juan, I got one for you. Have him process his online payments through Plug and Pay, because it builds up the CRM, right? And then let's say he has a massive suit of armor that costs $50,000 because he's going to make a $40,000 markup on it. Well, when you have that CRM of emails of people that have purchased from you, they're no longer cold. They're warm contacts. They're warm customers at that point. Then you can send out the customized email, you know, from Plug and Pay with Nexweave's personalizations integrated in. Then you're selling this crazy suit of armor. Let's say it's like, you know, the Batman suit from Batman versus Superman, where he takes on Superman and he has this huge suit of metal, right? And it's a $50,000 suit. It costs you $10,000 to make. that extra 40,000 would be pure profit. It took you and Juan maybe 2 hours, maybe 1 hour to set up with a proper video recording, and maybe you've collected all of your emails, and you'll eventually sell it off to somebody who's going to want the special edition Batman suit. But the point being is that every time an email went out to someone, it would say their name because you've already collected their name from a previous purchase in the past.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Cross sell, upsell, and resell. Okay.
Basically.
So,
yep.
So, okay. And then he also does.
But I've got one more idea. Once.
Okay.
Oh, Andrew had another suggestion one too.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So
Go
one
ahead,
more thing you
Andrew.
can do is that if you made a different variety of weapons in the past, maybe you can list out them on a video where they see about 8 to 10 options, and they click on the one that they want to hear more about. And once they click on, let's say, one kind of a sword, then your friend can have a short snippet over there talking about how this one is made and what's the history behind it, etc., etc. So someone can come and have that kind of experience altogether on the website.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks, Ender. So. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
You could literally discuss about the specifics of each sword. You know, it'll be like, here's an example of 4 swords. Okay, and then here's 10 seconds later, here's another 4 swords. But you could create a little hotspot, like a little interactive button. So when someone clicks on, you know, button number 2, okay, great. He could go in and explaining the specifics about that one sword. So it would be helpful if you recorded, you know, 20 seconds of each one of the 8 swords, but let the people choose what sword do they want to hear specific details about.
Okay, that's great because there's an education component to it, so you can get the history behind what the show tell is, that specific sword, and you can also. So what we plan to do is also build the brand by showing the quality that is going into the sword while it's being made. Thank you so much, Ender.
Which makes total sense. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. We're out.
Have a good one, Juan.
Have a good one.
Perfect. Thanks. That was a perfect and excellent scenario of how you could use Nexweave. And yeah, Ender, having the choose your own adventure, in his case, he was using it for education, is a perfect use case and totally makes sense.
Absolutely. I think the combination of choose your own adventure along with the product widget can actually educate him and move him one step closer towards making a transaction as well.
I want to see what kind of crazy stuff he could do. Yeah, there's swords, but I'm like, I wonder if he could do like armor and shields. That would be kind of fun. Anyways, all right. Anyways, so that also should answer Juan's question about live video is pre-notification and post-notification of a live video event. So, Juan, I hope that answers your question too. Omar, Formal Foundation. Hi there. Thank you for joining us. Omar asks, retargeting old customers and showing them new designs highlighted with hotspots. 100%. I totally agree. And like Juan said, a lot of customers, and the same applies with a lot of customers, they don't like doing a lot of cold outreach, but it's different if they're pre-existing customers. They're no longer cold. They could technically be considered warm leads or warm customers at that point. Then they're open to hearing, oh, you know what? I bought this sword. What would go good with the sword? A shield, right? By the way, my shields that I've just built out are handmade and they're $2,000 a shield. Maybe it took them 2 hours to build a shield. You know, if you're really good and a handyman doing, you know, metal crafts, that makes a total perfect scenario of how you would use Nexweave with Shopify, WooCommerce, how you would use an e-commerce solution combined with Nexweave. So yeah, perfect. We're coming up on 1:15. I think we'll call it there. Today was fun, was interesting, guys. So Ender, Ashtosh, thank you very much for joining us today. This was fun. This was interesting, and I'm glad this is a different and a little new dynamic. For all of you previous callers, please get a hold of me or talk to me inside the Nexweave Facebook chat on the Facebook page. And if you have a pre-existing, you did an Appsumo purchase to Tier 1, we'll upgrade you to Tier 2. So just reach out to me personally or the Nexweave Facebook chat, please. I would appreciate that. That being said, we'll come by next week, Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific, same time. Hannah, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us, and feel free to come on the stream next week as well too. And with that in mind, everyone stay safe. Keep social distancing in mind. Wash your hands and be safe. And we'll see you all next week. Have a good one, guys.
Okay, guys.
Bye bye.
Take care.